Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And today, we have some is it interesting news or disturbing news? Coming from down the land down under. Okay, so, as we know, Glenn Rushton, the trainer of Horn. Was it Jeff Horn? Yes, Jeff Horn. Controversial fellow. Increasingly controversial since Horn's fight with Tim Tszyu. Last couple of weeks ago, when he came under criticism, did Glenn Rushton for not throwing in the towel. When it looked like his boy, Jeff Horn, was getting thoroughly and comprehensively thrashed, beat down, beat to the punch, beat to the head, beat to the torso, and got some of his own dirty work handed back to him. Talking about Jeff Horn dirty in the clinch, dirty with the head. OMG, it was actually a pleasure to see the way how Tim Tszyu handled it. Matter of fact, I should watch that fight again. It was pleasurable. Textbook display of how to deal with a dirty fighter. Or shall we say a fighter who pushes the envelope, if we want to be diplomatic about it. But Glenn Rushton, let's get to his part in all of this. Okay, so Glenn Rushton had some things to get off his chest. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to give you the brief synopsis. So, as we know, Rushton was strongly criticized. Strongly criticized for the way he handled Jeff Horn during a 8-round TKO defeat against Tim Tszyu in Townsville last month. Rushton has provided a lengthy explanation for everything that happened and also launched some friendly fire. Okay, is there any such thing as friendly fire? Well, okay, let's take a look. Okay, so Rushton continues to insist that Horn was not badly hurt in the fight and criticized referee Phil Austin for counting a knockdown against his man in the third, which he says was a push. But, and this is the reason for this piece from Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, but the heaviest criticism was saved for a member of his own team. That's right, you heard it here first. Okay. In a sign that the Horn camp is fraying and may never be the same if the Queenslander opts to continue his career, Rushton blamed cornerman and fellow fighter Adam Copeland for ending Jeff's Horn career by waving the towel and ending the fight. If anybody hasn't seen my previous video on the topic, you will see from a particular angle we can see Adam Copeland indicating to the referee, kind of doing it very gently, that the fight was over. Call it off. Didn't want to upset Rushton, so he kind of did it, the hand gestures were minimal, but it was clear. Call it off. Referee wasn't sure. He was looking for a reason to call it off, and Copeland provided that little wave of the hand. Call it off. It's over. He was the most, those other guys in the corner saying the same damn thing, but Rushton didn't want to hear it. Damn, I should have pulled up that video so I could have replayed that clip. Maybe I will do that anyway, towards the end of this video. So, Rushton accused Copeland, who fought on the undercard, of being incapable of making a clear decision because he had been sent to the canvas earlier in the night. Okay, so Rushton is claiming that Copeland was not of sound mind, but I put it to you that Copeland was very much of sound mind, and certainly more sound than Rushton. The footage appears to confirm, footage I talked about, I got it in the video, I'll pull that up in a second. The footage appears to confirm that Adam in particular was largely responsible for ending the fight and quite possibly Jeff's career, says Rushton. Okay, so as I had previously surmised, Rushton would eventually see the footage and yeah, it had something to say, so I'm not surprised that Rushton's come out. What I am surprised about is that Rushton seems gleefully or blissfully unaware of how people are going to receive this. Like burying himself in a bigger hole. What does he say? This was a shame, as Adam had been sent to the canvas during his fight earlier in the night, went to hospital the following morning and shouldn't even have been on the apron in the first place. The fact that he was on the apron tells me that he probably wasn't thinking clearly, as he knows the rules. Well, hold on, you had him on the apron, didn't you? Did you not? You had him on the apron, you knew he was on the apron. Rushton also claims that Copeland attempted to end Horn's rematch against Michael Zarafa in 2019 before the Hornet. Well, they call him the Hornet, I call him the Billy Goat, because it was a use of the head. But anyway, the Hornet launched an incredible comeback. Copeland hit back on Instagram, describing Rushton's statement as a post made by a man digging his own grave. I had not read this previously, so when I said that Rushton was digging a bigger hole for himself, I had not read this previously. Okay, so I totally concur with Copeland. A man digging his own grave as a boxing trainer and trying to drag everyone down with him. Damn, I totally agree with that, me old cobber. Totally agree with you, me old cobber. There's Rushton there. Where's Copeland? I think he's probably in the corner. I think that one's there. It's Copeland. For Glenn to write things about me with not one phone call to me after the fight asking why I stopped it just shows what type of person he is. He's a dingo. OMG. To say I was concussed and confused is nothing but defamatory and false. Of course I knew what was going on. And so did the rest of Australia. Well, not just Australia, me old cobber. The whole world. Anybody who saw that fight knew that you did the right thing. Copeland. I could sit here and write 2,000 words about him like he did about everyone else in his post. But I think he says enough for everyone to understand who he is as a person. Yes. Can't deny it. It's bang on. Copeland is bang on. You know, I don't know why Rushton's carrying on this way. He doesn't realize he's digging a hole for himself. Can he dig a bigger hole? Can he dig a bigger hole? I don't know. The hole's pretty big as it seems, as it is right now. And yes, I called him and told him all my problems about his post before I decided to post this, as that in my eyes is the right thing to do. And of course, there was no acceptance of any wrongdoing as usual. Okay, so Copeland was the bigger man, called him, he said, listen me old cobber, it's like this, you get it? But Rushton seems does not get it, not one tiny bit. Listen, says Copeland, I love Jeff Horn and his whole family. I hope the public doesn't associate Jeff Horn with Glenn Rushton's garbage, as no one deserves that. Oh my gosh. In his lengthy post on the Stretton Boxing Club Facebook page, everybody head on over to there, hit the like button. I'm joking, of course, even I haven't done that. Rushton also revealed Horn's health issues in the lead up and said his fighter's flame had gone, and also criticized cutman Stephen Edwards for helping create the confusion. Oh my gosh, this guy's accusing everybody but himself. Damn, this is worse than a little kiddie who said they didn't steal the last cookie, chocolate chip cookie, when they got the crumbs all over their mush. Come on. It's worse than that, because you're a grown man. Little kiddie you can understand, but you're a grown man, Glenn. Man up. Man down. I don't know. What's going on? Thanks again for all the supporters out there who got behind Jeff for this fight against Tim Tszyu. Of course, we're all disappointed, including Jeff. This was certainly not the same Jeff Horn who walked into the ring on that magical day just over 3 years ago to defeat Manny Pacquiao. Jeff is one of those people you can't help but like, and we've shared an incredible journey together. From the time this bullied school kid walked into my gym to learn self-defense when he just turned 18, I've grown to admire him for his courage and determination. Regardless of what Jeff does in the future, I suppose he could always go back to teaching. Is that possible? Are his black brain cells functional? I don't know. I haven't heard Jeff speak for a while. I hope he's good. Regardless of what Jeff does in the future, I'll always be there for him. Bloody hell, mate. He doesn't need you in his corner. He'll get the man killed. Metaphorically speaking. And otherwise. And whether he chooses to retire or continue fighting, I'm comfortable either way. Only Jeff can make that decision. And there's no hurry. Let his brain recover. So what went wrong in the fight with Tim Tszyu? Well, I don't know. But how much further do I get into this? On the day of the fight, Chris Muckert, Jeff's new strength and conditioning coach and former NRL player, assured me Jeff was ready to deliver the performance of his career. He said he'd slept perfectly, his recovery was phenomenal, and his resting heart rate was purring along at just 39 beats per minute. Leading into the fight, Jeff had done DEXA scans, skin folds, and he was being constantly monitored by Chris to ensure his recovery, diet, sleep, etc. were all perfect. I do know that over a week out from the fight, Jeff called me to say he had vertigo. Oh my gosh, vertigo. That's like unsteadiness on the feet. Equilibrium's all off. That's not good for a fighter. 1 week out? Do me a favour. This on top of the raspy voice had me concerned, so I suggested a visit to the ENT, ear, nose and throat specialist, who did the surgery on Jeff's throat some years ago. The ENT specialist gave him a call to clear the fight, and slowly the vertigo subsided. However, the throat issue remained, as everyone knows who's heard him speak leading into the fight. On the night of the fight, I was concerned during the warm-up. Jeff wasn't himself. He's normally like a junkyard dog ready to tear someone apart. However, his demeanor was subdued, and the usual pop wasn't in his punches. From the first round, Jeff was off. Tim did exactly what I thought he'd do. But Jeff wasn't following the strategy, which is odd for Jeff. When Tim went back towards the rope on 2 occasions in the first round, rather than Jeff dive him onto the ropes and unload on him as planned, and he did with Pacquiao, he just let him off the hook. Let him off the hook in the first round. Okay. The hunger did not appear to be there to stay on top of Tim. The intensity and volume of punches Jeff was supposed to be throwing on the inside weren't happening. We've all grown to love Jeff's tenacity, but after a few rounds it appeared as though the heart had been ripped out of Jeff Horn. The V8 engine that drives Jeff simply was not there. It was more like a 1.9 engine. Turbocharged? I don't know. Was it psychological or was it biological? When we came back to the corner after each round, I was looking at him very, very closely. I could see he wasn't hurt nor exhausted. I think Jeff was both of those things. Everybody else thinks the opposite of that, Mr. Rushton. Cardio-wise, he was actually recovering okay between rounds, was he? But he was simply too slow. Not intense enough in range, and appeared more intent on just getting through the rounds as opposed to winning them. OMG. How long does this, how much longer, how much more of this? We'll be here all day. We'll be here till tomorrow if we keep on going on with this. But let me try and find some pertinent points. Or do I need to find a pertinent point? I think we already know what's going on. What's this here? This is crazy. If no medical reason emerges for his performance, I can only say that the flame has gone, at least for now. This is not unusual, and many athletes just wake up one day and realize they don't want to do it anymore. More importantly, they start looking for an easier way and don't want to do what has to be done to win at the highest level. As Muhammad Ali once famously said, the fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out on the road, long before the dance goes under those lights. And cut a long story short, very, very long story short, Jeff Rushton, as seen here, is clearly a very, very delusional man living in self-denial, not accepting the simple facts that Jeff Horn was taking one hell of a battering in there. And, the trainer is not just there to train, but he's there to oversee the safety of his fighter. And in that regard, I put it to you, or many people will put it to you, that Jeff, or what's his name, Rushton, is guilty of gross dereliction of duty. He only did half of his job. What about the other half, looking after his fighters' well-being? Who the hell, which father or mother is going to send their son to Glenn Rushton to have under his wing when the guy seems to be flagrantly oblivious to the reality of Jeff Horn's mollywhopping at the hands of Tim Tszyu? Who the hell's going to do that? It's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, it's the Have Your Say, it's the Glenn Rushton living on another planet, not being able to see the reality of his fighter's plight. Have your say. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And I am